know you're drinking soda. You could go. What are you doing? I thought you... Are you going to snap? Are you going to snap, make happen?
It's not soda.
It's not soda? Oh, what are you drinking?
No. This is in because I get to watch the movie on TV.
Okay.
This was the last thing that my fiance prompted. After I bought this, it prompted, no more buying dumb shit or toys.
That's not dumb shit.
Before the wedding.
That's not...
Thank you.
That's not dumb shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big comic book guy, or like Eric Howell says, I'm not a child. You know.
But that's cool.
It is cool. It's a collectible thing. And before you leave the studio, I'm going to steal all your gems.
I gotta steal all the stones.
Yeah. You don't have to have the glove, right?
I think no. Well, yeah.
Can I just have all the stones in my
you
hand?
can't hold them in your hand. You're not powerful enough. Anyway,
hey, thanks for joining us. If you're an MMA maniac,
Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast that's not always about the Avengers and the whole Infinity War saga and everything that's going on we just talked about, and toys.
But we're dorks.
We actually talk about MMA.
Yeah, we do.
On a weekly basis.
Usually.
Pretty much.
When we can.
And we cover everything, all the news, all the rumors, all the things you need to know about. So you sound like you're semi-smart at the bar when you're talking MMA about a guy that you're watching with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try
and
to
we even try to cover some local stuff.
Get you up to speed.
Our regional guy covers that.
Yeah.
Who came out with a good interview this week for 220, what we're going to be talking about. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
We'll get into that. All right.
All right.
So let's jump into the first story. Last week we talked about Angela Magana. She went into the hospital, fell into a coma after a botched surgery.
Have we found out fell into a coma or was medically induced into a coma?
Fell into a coma is what these words right here are saying in front of me.
Trip fell into a coma.
Fell into a coma. She has come out of that coma.
Not making light of it at all.
Talked about it last week, how she was starting to move and her eyes were starting to open. That was very, very hopeful. She is now actually speaking. She posted a video on YouTube, very emotional. She said she's going to get better. She's going to be fighting again soon. And nothing will stop her. Nothing.
Didn't she just recently sign with somebody?
She was with Combate.
Combate, that's right.
Combate Americas. They are very happy that she's coming out. It's a very, very scary, very, very scary thing.
Well, anytime
diagnosed with Cardia Equina syndrome, which required her to have emergency surgery. Complications arose from the anesthesia during the surgery. So maybe that's the reason that happened. She wasn't supposed to be into a coma. Wasn't medically induced, but fell into due to the complications of surgery. Anyway,
gave her too much anesthesia.
Yeah. So, but however, she is awake. She is speaking on the road to recovery.
All good signs. All good signs.
Good signs for Angela Magana.
They'll probably just up her oxygen level usually.
I would hope. Yeah. But on some other sad news, UFC fighter Rodrigo De Lima has passed away. This is a crazy story coming out of Brazil. Former welterweight Rodrigo De Lima was struck by a vehicle in Brazil. Now, it wasn't just any vehicle. It was his Uber driver.
His actual Uber driver?
His Uber driver.
Wow.
According to the report, he got into an argument with the driver of the vehicle. Argument proceeded to get more heated. He was kicked out of the vehicle. The driver left, returned shortly, and struck him from behind with his car and then sped off.
Why? I don't understand why he'd come back, because now he loses the fare.
No, he already accepted the fare. He dropped off. I got my fare. He leaves.
And now he's going to jail.
Now he's possibly, if they catch him, yeah. So they're currently still searching for the driver of the vehicle. No information of the driver has been provided. Very, very sad news again. Rodrigo De Lima has passed away after being struck by a vehicle in Brazil. He was 9-3-1 in MMA. Man, that's a sad, sad story.
It's horrible.
Crazy turn of events here with that. I mean, struck by your Uber driver, man? I mean, I got to believe they could be, they'll get, not making light of the situation, but get his phone. Look up who was his driver. Look up the information, right? It's hopefully at some point.
But maybe it wasn't even the Uber driver. Maybe he did something to the Uber driver. Has anybody checked on the Uber driver?
No.
They're looking for him.
They're looking for him, though. Yeah. Definitely looking for him.
Hey, but I have done it. I've come out of a bar and ran into my Uber car.
Stumbled into it?
Yeah.
But this is completely different.
Yeah, I told him I was sorry. And I said, I know it sounds cliche, but I think that'll buff out.
UFC welterweight Sultan Aliyev has decided to hang him up, left his gloves in the octagon at his win at UFC St. Petersburg. We'll get into the full results of that.
How long till he ends up fighting for some?
However, he has retired from MMA.
How long till he fights for somebody else?
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
He said in
34?
In his release, as it was much easier for me since I fought at home, since that was my last fight of my contract, I'd like to retire from MMA. It was very important for me to win. I've got a family and a job. I just can't find time for everything, and I'm starting to feel my age. He was 34. He said, I did this not only for my fans, but to test myself and push the limits. I am grateful to the UFC for giving me this chance. Another guy hanging it up.
Okay.
But there's always someone around the corner.
They get that itch, man. They get that itch.
Darren Till.
Wow.
Darren Till is in trouble. Darren Till was recently arrested in Spain for allegedly trashing a hotel room and stealing a taxi.
And he's on a 2-fight slide?
Well, he last got knocked out by George Masvidal.
Right. And did he lose before that too?
I believe he did, yeah.
So, I mean, you think that is that what's causing this?
He's just going all crazy. It says that Till and his 4 companions were ordered to pay 10,000 euros. Is that euros, right?
Yeah.
10,000 euros to the hotel, another 480 euros to the damages of the hotel, and 360 euros for theft of the taxi cab. After all this controversy, he has deactivated his Twitter and his Instagram. Only way you're able to follow him is through Facebook. Pretty crazy, man.
Now, is this?
What do you make of this?
You think you delete
yes, he's
all
on
that?
a 2-fight win streak or a 2-fight losing streak. KO lost to Masvidal, submission to Tyron Woodley.
Cool. You think you go and delete all that because of pending cases? I mean, he did.
You think there's evidence? Like he was like selfieing as he's stealing
No. Because I know there's that character assassination basically, where they'll take your social media and go, you don't think this is his typical thing? Look what he does on an average Saturday or Sunday. You know what I mean?
You don't think they could data mine that though and find information that was already on there?
I don't know. We're still looking for 33,000 emails. And the guy who could do it, Julius Assange, the angry gnome. We don't know where he's at, but he won't help MMA anyway.
No.
But so what do you
do with Darren Till?
I don't know. What do you do with MMA? Look what it's doing to people. I'm almost ready to side with the state of New York.
You think it's MMA? You think MMA makes people crazier? Or
I don't
do you think
know.
that we're just finding out more stories about guys because MMA is getting more and more
What
popular?
about the senators in New York said that MMA makes you gay? What if that's the next step? No, remember?
We'll change the concept of the show.
It would be called MMA. No. But anyway.
Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker is going to.
So you're not going to get. You don't. None of this is from MMA.
No, I don't think any of it has to do with MMA.
Okay.
Again, my theory is MMA is becoming more and more popular, and because it's becoming more and more popular, we're hearing more and more stories about that sort of thing.
Every time you drink, I think someone disappears.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Totally possible. As you notice, we already one host out. This might have affected Nick. I don't know where he's at either.
Yeah, I didn't know that you're the star of the show, according to some thread that I read.
Apparently, it was started out with Joey, but Joey decided to get snapped, and now I am. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
I think it's more just.
I just co-sign all this shit, apparently.
Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, is going to be competing in the Asia and Oceania trials for Abu Dhabi Combat.
Do you think this is smart, as you said?
Dude's injury prone all the damn time.
He's kind of China doll.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, if he does well, this is going down in May. If he does well, he could move on to like the actual finals in LA throughout the summer where they do the main tournaments. Like he has to like compete. You know, he's getting into.
On one hand, I think it's good because it's a way to stay in shape.
I mean, he does have his brown belt, but when's the last time you've seen Bobby Knuckles submit somebody?
I don't know.
2011?
Yeah, but it's going to be fairer in this sport because the other person's trying to submit him.
Yeah, but all these guys are like submission guys that just concentrate on submissions.
Yeah, but they're not punching you back. The reason he punches back in the octagon.
I think because I don't know. I wish Bobby Knuckles the best of luck. I do not think he will do well in an Abu Dhabi Combat
What say you,
Club.
Aaron Murrow?
It's possible.
What say you? You think Bobby Knuckles should be out there JJing it up with other people, or you think he should just work on the UFC? What do you think?
Moving on from there, speaking of Masvidal a little bit earlier with his defeat over Darren Till, you can get that 3-piece in a soda shirt.
Happy Friday, Matt.
3-piece in a soda shirt.
Is that what it is?
GameBreadOfficial.com.
It should have somebody's face.
I like that he's holding the soda. It's all crushed. I saw another one that was like actual 3-piece with the soda sticking out of it. It was like giving that 3-piece in a soda. I thought that one was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
But this one's official. GameBreadOfficial.com/ look it up. Collections.
Aaron agrees with you. Says no. Dude's constantly hurt.
Yeah, dude should not be fighting. So we should have jumped on this. We should have jumped on this 3-piece in a soda shirt.
I'm surprised you're not. You're like shirt man.
I'm not saying this one. I said we should have came up with our own design.
Yeah, right.
Real quick before Game Bread was like, "Yo, stop selling my shirt." I'd be like, "All right, it's cool."
I think it would have been better if like the 3-fist had like a drumstick on the end. 3-piece and
I like it.
Because basically, anytime you hear 3-piece in something, don't you think of KFC?
You think of chicken.
You think of chicken.
You think of chicken. Might be not KFC, but you think of chicken.
Exactly.
Think of chicken.
What else can you get a 3-piece of?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good one.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Nevada State Athletic Commission has fined Pedro Munoz. What?
Oh, she just says she guarantees Whitaker gets hurt.
Nevada State Athletic Commission has fined Pedro Munoz $2,500 plus attorney's fees for his post-fight celebration at UFC 235. That is where he went and jumped up on the cage and celebrated after beating Cody Garbrandt.
But they didn't find anybody who beat a bus with a fucking dolly.
He was temporarily suspended. That was New York fined Mr. Conor McGregor. Yes.
No, the UFC did not.
Well, the UFC didn't do this either. The Nevada State Athletic Commission did.
Okay.
They temporarily suspended him. Now they've released the suspension, and his total bill comes out to $28,2706.
06. Hey, bro. I got the 6.
You got the 6 for him?
Can we send him the 6?
I'll send him the 6.
We'll send him the 6. We got the 6 cents.
Pedro Munoz, if you ever listen to our show, because I know you do, send Dennis your Venmo. We'll send you the 6.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to send 10.
Oh.
That way you can put 4 to the side.
Cover part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Because around here we use a 7-cent nickel. Everybody should.
USADA.
I
love shows where we get to talk about USADA. It's almost every show.
Do you know it?
It's almost every show.
And if you go back to when we first talked about this, when we were still doing it out of that little room, we told you this is the kind of thing it was going to start.
I had to create this whole template just so we put people's faces up here all the time, like little mini wall hairs. Look at the mini wall hairs down here. Anyway, Walt Harris has accepted a 4-month suspension for failing an in-competition drug test at UFC 232 last December. He tested positive for LGD-4033, determined that it was due to a tainted supplement. He is given 4-month suspension. However, the big one that was announced this week, 4 other fighters, all to Ostarine for the same substance. Fighters Nico Montano, Sean O'Malley, Marvin Vettori, and Augusto Mendez all failed out-of-competition tests for Ostarine. Every single one of them was found due to tainted supplements. Now remember, we talked about this, I think it's like January, when they were saying that the UFC is working on official supplements by the UFC to have their fighters start taking, so this won't be a problem. However, right now it's still a problem. No matter where you get your supplements, you got to make sure you read the labels, or at least send all those supplements into USADA to make sure that they're approved. These guys all got busted for Ostarine. They're all given 6-month suspension. Every single one of them.
Oh, well, Aaron Murrow saying that Costa Barricino turned them all in to get a lesser suspension. That's not exactly what she said, but she said that Costa is also suspended for PED, but he is cooperating to get a lesser.
It's stomach medication.
It's stomach.
Mr. Tom Lawler had something to say about that.
Dude, if anybody should be really pissed off, it's Filthy Tom.
Filthy Tom says, I'm glad they all got 6 months, but I wasn't so lucky. A quick reminder, UFC cut me via email after months of me trying to get another fight and getting strung along. I could have sat my ass during those 2 years, but instead I did work on my profile to make sure I could get other things going on. What are the differences going to be? My levels were lower than everyone else. Fuck, man. This hurts. This hurts me, my family, my career. It was a life-changing event, and it means jack shit to the assholes that are running it.
Right.
Tom Lawler got 2 years for Ostarine, and then they found out it was a tainted supplement, and they were like, as long as you serve for 2 years, you're good.
Yeah. Same thing with Josh Barnett, right?
I mean, come on,
Josh Barnett,
man.
They couldn't even really tell what happened.
They couldn't even figure it out.
They didn't even know what happened.
I mean...
Oh, sorry we sidelined you.
You know, and they try to say now, well, you know, Their official statement is the trace amounts of ostarine found in each of the athlete's samples was made possible by sensitive laboratory detection capabilities. However, as detection windows increase and the potential time between ingestion and detection lengthens, it is likely to become more difficult for athletes to identify a contaminated product that may be the source of their positive test. As a consequence, the investigation period in ostarine cases is frequently relatively long, and has been in the case of each of these cases announced today.
Does not count tax, license, dock fees.
So you're basically going to say that because, again, testing has changed, we can now find out smaller amounts or quicker, or it might take longer. We don't really know what the fuck we're doing. We're just going to hand out suspensions.
That's the biggest thing is we're still what are we? We're 2 years into this now, right?
Yeah.
And we're still trying to figure. I'm not even gonna look at you, dude. We're 2 years into this, and we're still trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out why John Jones gets a pass, and why somebody's skin cream got them a 2-year suspension. He didn't even fight it. And then some other guy, Tom Lawler showed up with lower levels of guys who were just given 6 months.
Yeah, they all got 6 months, but Tom Lawler had
yeah. We got Costa Barricino over here cooperating to get a lesser suspension. We know John Jones turned in people to get a lesser suspension.
Let me show you how much of a joke that USADA has become.
In your opinion.
Dan Ige, UFC fighter, put this on Twitter. Said, I'm so pissed off. Someone came over my house this morning.
How pissed off are you?
I thought it was USADA. They came in, took a blood sample. Come to find out, they went to the wrong house and addresses and did not work for USADA.
Well, who was taking blood samples then? Dude.
Novinsky comes out and says, look, we got involved. We encouraged him to go to both the law enforcement. And we called the laboratory at the end of the week to find him some documents to dispose of the blood, that nothing was sinister behind it. It was an honest mistake. It's just a bizarre 1 in a million situation. It's a good lesson for our athletes that a USADA representative will contact them. They're going to have credentials to show. They'll have paperwork. If they're not USADA authorizing the collection, so you always can ensure that as long as the paperwork's good, you're okay.
Right.
Like, how crazy is that, man? Someone shows up and be like, hey, man, we need your blood. We also need to get some samples from you. And you're just like, all right.
I would ask for documentation, bro. I would. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure all I got to do is pee. No, we need blood. No, I'm pretty sure I just got to pee. And then if you find something, then you take blood. Isn't that how it works? You don't give blood every time, do you?
Yeah. Come to find out, it was a collector that was trying to get his neighbor. I don't know why his neighbor needed blood being drawn, and the lab that was coming in to get blood drawn, but they were asking him all kinds of questions, and he's like, you don't sound like USADA.
They were probably Quest. It was probably Quest.
Something, yeah.
Probably. They're the other big one. And I know Quest does come to your house if you can't make it out. If you can't make it out. Yeah. You should look that up.
Crazy situation going on.
I'm a Quest and Uber driver.
Moving on from there. There is a new movie coming out, and I haven't quite figured out this. I don't think that, I guarantee this is not big studio. This is small studio. This is Moving Box Studios. They usually do like music videos. They did that music video with Steve Aoki in the UFC where they were like fighting and stuff. Yeah, they did that video. Anyway,
even though it's considered low budget, it was a cool video.
It was cool. It was definitely cool. They are exploring and expanding into the video game movie business by releasing a 2-minute short film set in the Street Fighter universe. It's going to be called Street Fighter Genesis. And Sage Northcutt is going to be playing Ken Masters.
Nice.
Right, boom.
It's going to be pretty sick.
The video was pretty cool. I watched it. It's lowish budget, but it's decent. It's like a fan film. I mean, it was good. So far, the trailer's out there. Look for it. Street Fighter Genesis. Make sure you check that out. Very, very cool.
Didn't they do the Joker versus Batman where it was like a crazy...
No. That wasn't them.
That wasn't them?
No.
Because that one was cool.
That one was cool. That was definitely a cool fan-style video.
Right.
But speaking of one championship fighters and
That's so hard to get used to. One championship.
One has already started. They have announced today, actually yesterday, they're launching One Studios. The One Studios is going to be a movie and TV division of One Championship. They plan to make award-winning global blockbuster movies and TV shows for the world with global distribution via Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, Amazon, etc. also to be broadcast on the 140 plus channels that they're already on. So, yeah, one getting into the movie business.
Nice.
Do you think this is going to be similar to, like, the WWE films? They started out kind of slow, kind of, you know, and kind of rolled, and they started putting their stars in some movies and kind of built their brand?
Again, like I said, we're going to see, and this is another one of their moves, is one's going to come onto the scene pretty heavy.
Do you think that the UFC will ever do this? They'll start their own movie studio and kind of...
You don't think so? Like, we already have On the Road, and then you have...
Yeah, I mean, you have stuff that's...
You already have the vlogs.
For Fight Pass, yeah. You
right.
have all those, you know, specialty programs and stuff like that. But do you see them going into something bigger? Making movies, making action movies, turning their stars into bigger stars? You would think with WME, you know, a whole conglomerate of agents and people in Hollywood, that they would kind of start combining those things, don't you?
Yeah, but their culture is a lot different than ours.
Okay.
So I think like we're thinking like movies or whatnot, but for them to have like a 5-minute trailer before one of their fights that's really done up is not unheard of.
True.
You know, especially when
the UFC they've done that a couple times with some of the big fights.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I just think that they're going to do it for some of their bigger stars because their culture is that way.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about that definitely for sure. They talk about that, you know, in some of their stars in China, they're rock stars of their country.
Right.
I mean, they're big deals. So they try to definitely play into that.
And I think we're going to see it a different angle than what the American. We want to see the Jerry. What is it? What's the old show where they used to fight each other? Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
That's the kind of trailers Americans. We want to see the Jerry Springer show trailer before a fight. That's what we like. We want to see somebody hit a van with
all the craziness.
You know, we want to see the craziness.
Or they fought in the Ultimate Fighter.
Right. Now, one championship.
Movie style.
They've already said that they believe in respect.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you're going to probably start with like a centaur or some, you know, going to show this little village where the guy started or where he's from, training, hitting the road, what he's put into it, things that they respect, things that they hold wholesome. You know, not like us. We're like, look, he hit him with the bat, he spit on him, he called his mama names. You know, who the fuck is this guy?
Not about the trash talk.
Right. They're about the respect, and the story leading up to a lot of these guys' fight is going to be a lot bigger than what we make our fighters out to be, or who we want to see.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Speaking of one, though, they do have 2 series that are currently going on right now. One is called the Hero Series. This is where they take the brightest and best prospects they can find from China. They have them battle it out over a series of bouts with the hopeful that they will be able to be signed to one with an exclusive contract and a big contract number. They also have Rich Franklin's Warrior Series, and this is similar to the Ultimate Fighter, but more leaning towards Dana White's looking for a fight series.
See, but that's
Rich Franklin goes to these different areas, finds great athletes, brings them into a tournament with the guys of winning a 6-figure contract, not based on wins, but based on performance. So you don't have to always win your fight. As long as you're putting on a good show and your performance is well, that's what will get you on the war. So we had 2 of those happen over the weekend.
But just look at the big difference there. So right there, that's their big thing is one Champions Hero Series, right?
Yep.
And then like you said, so what's UFC's? Dana White's Contender. Who cares about Dana White?
Well, they do Rich Franklin's Warrior Series. I mean, it's named after Rich Franklin.
Okay. All right.
But we did have 2 events. If you're not checking these out, make sure you do. You can check them out on Facebook. You can check them out on YouTube. They are streaming on all these different platforms. Very, very cool.
Look for it because you
can always get it on the one app. If you get in the app, you can check these out. These are just smaller fights. These are guys you might see later in one. You might later see in Bellator. You might later see in the UFC.
You will see at least a handful of these guys in the UFC.
Eventually, yeah. Or I mean, they could just ride their whole career out in one and just kill it.
Depending on how big one gets.
Just kill it. So moving on from there, we also saw Ryzen 15.
Or when the Zufas come back, whatever they start, because I think their non-compete was only 7 years or 5 years.
I didn't remember the contract there. I know Dana White's talking about how he's going to get into boxing this summer.
That's like so much crap.
He's going to change boxing, sir, this summer.
But he's also going to show us the future
of the sport.
Of the sport.
Of MMA. Anyway, Ryzen 15 happened over the weekend. The big fights there. We did have Tenshin Na Sukawaya get his win over Fritz Alderin Bigatan. TKO. We had King Mo lost his fight for the inaugural light heavyweight championship.
You want to see my surprise face?
To Jerdy Prosagadzaiwa. I can never do this. What else do we got on there? Anyway, some great fights. Koyoji Horiguchi defeated Ben Nguyen. TKO round 1. There's rumors that rematch is already going to happen in Bellator. I still got Horiguchi in that one.
And I hope a lot of you tuned in and got to see what tension really looks like when he really fights somebody.
An actual fight.
Yeah, because it was a good brawl.
Yeah, it was great kickboxing action going on there. We also had UFC Fight Night 149, UFC ESPN Plus 7, UFC St. Petersburg, UFC Overeem versus Oleanik happened if you have ESPN Plus, which you should, because if you bought the last pay-per-view, you had to try to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
So if you still have it, and you didn't cancel it, you got to see this. Obviously, you have your main card. Krzysztof Jotko defeated Alan Medskovsky. Roxanne Madafri gets the win over Antonio Shevchenko.
How come she can't finish anymore?
Decision.
She can't finish anymore.
It was a good fight, though.
It was a good fight, but
good fight. Sergey Pavlovich defeats Marcelo Golm. Islam Makhachev defeated Arman Tsukarian. And Alistair Overeem gets the big win. TKO, knees and punches, round 1 over Aleksei Oleanik.
I know. I took the Russian. Russian let me down.
Man.
It was bad.
Overeem has a huge record of the who's of heavyweights. Yes, he's been knocked out a bunch of times. He's also has twice as many fights as most of these guys.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
He's took a lot of fights.
Look at his win column. If you look at the guys who he's defeated in heavyweight, you can't tell me it's not impressive. The guy has beat Verdum, Mark Hunt, Arlovsky, Junior Dos Santos, Roy Nelson, Stefan Struve, Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar, Verdum again, Duffy, Brett Rogers,
Verdum again,
Mark Hunt again, Paulo Buentello. I mean, this guy has beat some guys. He has lost, of course. I would like to say that I think Alistair Overeem has a pretty good record. And again, he attributes that to changing gyms all the time. He says he likes changing gyms because he likes to switch it up. He likes to learn new things. He likes to move on and start learning. I've always liked Overeem, even when he was on the horse meat.
Yeah, and again, he's dealt with his own violation things too, right?
Even when he was on the horse meat, I like it.
Even on the horse meat. Ubereem.
Coming up tomorrow. Is that today? Is that tomorrow? What's today? Today's the 26th. Tomorrow. In our own backyard at the SAP, because the Sharks are playing today. Sharks are playing today. They made it. My Sharks made it, man. Got through Game 7, got through the Knights. You want to talk about the controversial call? Got an article for you to read. They had plenty of chances to make that stop. Guess what? We deserve it. Sharks, baby.
Sharks, baby.
Playing today. But they're not going to be playing on this day because obviously we got Bellator 220 McDonald versus Fitch, which is going to be aired on the DAZN.
On the DAZN?
On the DAZN. That's the only place you can watch it. You can't even watch it on... Man, you can't even watch it on the Paramount Network. It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
Is it frustrating?
It's very frustrating. Can't tell me it's not frustrating.
It's not?
We got 2 championship belts on the line. Let's go start at the bottom.
Well, let me just throw this out. MMA Pixels interviewed Peter Ishiguro. I don't see him on the list, but he is fighting at the at the Bellator 220 this weekend. If you haven't had a chance to, or you just chosen not to, go to YouTube, look up MMA Pixels, and check out the interview. And now, I don't know who disappeared now.
Gaston Bolanos going up against Nathan Stolen.
We no longer have a producer.
He's gone.
Who's the second guy?
Phil Davis against Liam McGreary. Benson Henderson going against Adam Piccolotti.
Isn't this the second time Davis is fighting McGreary?
I want to say yes, but I don't know. Let's look that up. Let's see if we can do this real quick on the fly here. Yep, right there. Already won once.
Yep. Okay.
Going back.
All right.
Getting on it.
Rubber match? No, not really. It happened way a long time ago.
Ilima Le McFarlane defends her belt against Vera Arteaga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or 20 Or 30
And you got Rory McDonald defending his belt against John Fitch. Are you excited for that?
I kind of am, but I'm kind of not. My friend of ours, Chris Tinkle, has just started doing a podcast with Fitch. Him and Fitch smashed the everything.
Yeah. Well, John Fitch just wrote a book I saw.
Yeah, but he needs to win.
He does need to win.
Yeah.
This is for the quarterfinal of the Bellator welterweight tournament. Even though Rory McDonald's the champion and in that tournament, if he does lose his belt, it just keeps moving on. Yeah, so I got Rory. I'm sorry. I like John Fitch.
Put a link to your channel, Nick. Put it in the comments. Put a link to your channel right now.
I'm gonna go Rory in this fight.
You're taking Rory?
I'm taking Rory.
I'm gonna take Fitch.
I want to take Fitch.
What's going on in there?
Next door, something is happening.
Something's happening next door. We never ask. It's a tattoo and piercing place. That might be how somebody gets past the pain.
They get all kinds of stuff going on. Moving on from there, we have UFC Fight Night 150.
150.
UFC Fight Night. Jacare versus Hermansson.
Or
UFC on ESPN Plus 8. UFC Sunrise / UFC Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. St. Petersburg was last week.
Man, they're everywhere.
I tell you.
There's a lot of hashtags and a lot of names for these cards. I wish we could just go back to the normal shit.
What?
It's just UFC Fight Night 150. Done.
Or just, UFC blood boiling.
Oh, you want to go back to the old names?
Name
where
names.
it's like Bad News,
Yeah.
Relentless, Declaration, Heavyweights.
Procrastination.
What else we
like
got?
if a fight hasn't been done soon enough, UFC procrastination.
We got all these crazy ones. UFC Knockout, where there were no fucking knockouts.
Yes.
That actually happened.
UFC decisions. All day.
The decision. Anyway, UFC on ESPN2 gives you the prelims.
Thanks,
Court McGee against Diego Lima, Angela Hill and Jody Escobel, Jim Miller and Jason Gonzalez, all on ESPN2. Pretty awesome. Going on to the regular ESPN, where you can now watch axe throwing. You can now watch cornhole. You can now watch. I watched spike ball.
Cornhole is not a sport; it's a way of life.
Spike ball. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
It's like you're playing volleyball with no net. Instead, it's a trampoline.
Oh.
So you have to spike it on the trampoline, and it's all spikes. You have to spike it on the trampoline, and then it goes up in the air.
Is there a net up in the air?
No. Then the other people got to try to keep it alive and then spike it on the trampoline. You always have to hit the spike on the trampoline.
So then nobody tries to keep it in the air.
I don't know. It was very confusing. But instead, you get to watch UFC prelim cards. Gilbert Burns starting it off against Mike Davis. Carla Esparza going against Verana.
How much does Carla need
John
this win?
DeRoba. A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
All right.
Yeah. Andre Arlovsky going up against Augusto Sakai.
So this is his 7th fight this year?
Who?
Arlovsky?
I don't think it's his 7th.
We're only in April.
I think his window is closing, and he knows that. But I don't know about his 7th.
Man has a lot of fights.
Let's see. This year, he has not had a fight this year.
Sir. Okay, but look at all those last year.
4. He had 4 fights last year.
Yes, I exaggerate.
So we just times is confusing.
It is. But in the last year,
yes,
he's had 4 fights. So this is his fight within a year.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
All right.
I'll give you that.
Brandon doesn't usually give stuff.
Ben Saunders and Takashi Sato. Anybody you're picking on any of those fights?
I'm gonna take Ben Saunders.
Ben Saunders.
I'll take Carla.
You're gonna take Carla.
And Mike Davis.
Not even gonna throw your name in there for the Arlovsky Sakai fight?
No.
Not at
you
all.
never know with that guy anymore.
You just don't believe
You
it.
gotta look up Sakai before you pick him.
I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah, look at all that.
Yeah, who he is.
Yeah,
And
look at all that.
I feel like if you look at the majority,
he just beat Chase?
Let's do 10 knockouts.
He just beat Chase.
10 knockouts.
That's the Vanilla Gorilla, right?
10 knockouts and 2 decisions. I gotta believe I feel bad for Andre Arlovsky.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to him about his jaw. I already did that once.
Yeah, we already
He got
did
very
that.
mad at me.
There's an interview. You can go find it.
He got very mad at me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll move on from there. Going on to now, you switch off your regular ass TV because you probably got some other sports to watch. But instead, on your tablet, or if you can stream this, if you've got Xbox or a Roku or something.
My TV won't picture-in-picture my HDMI
What?
with my other HDMI.
That sucks.
I can picture-in-a-picture one feed.
Yeah.
But I can't picture-in-picture 2 different HDMIs.
Damn it.
I know.
Got to figure something out.
Technology.
Anyway, on ESPN Plus, you got Roosevelt Roberts going against Thomas Gifford, John Lineker going against Corey Sandhagen, Glover Teixeira going against Ion Cutabella, Alex Oliveira going against Mike Perry.
Oliveira all day.
And again, the controversial co-main event.
Why? It's not. Stop
Greg
talking
Hardy
like that anymore.
Against Dimitri. Because he shouldn't be the main event or co-main event ever.
Why?
He's had 3 fucking fights.
But he is.
And he's a woman beater.
Madman. He's a madman.
I like that we're trying to make it into a movie, UFC. Like, look at this guy, where he came from. He's an NFL guy. Blah, blah, blah. You're not a co-main event, dude.
He's so mad.
You're not a co-main event.
You did not take your medicine today.
If he would have been on, I would still be upset, but I think I'd allow it. I would allow it.
You might want to put some ice cubes in there.
On like the ESPN card. I know people would freak out about that too, but you're not a co-main event, Greg Hardy. You're not. I hope you lose. Dmitry Smolyakov. That's who I'm going with.
You're okay.
Also, Jacare, your main event, going against Jack Hermanson. Now, remember, that fight wasn't even supposed to happen. This whole thing got put together because who do we have? We had. It was I'm all lost now.
I don't even know what's
Paulo
going on in the other
and Romero.
room.
It was Paulo Costa and Romero. Okay, that's what it was. And then it was going to be Romero and Jacare. Romero pulled out. Yoel Romero pulled out, and then it was going to be now it's Hermanson. Jacare is saying that he was given this because he's guaranteed a title shot if he wins this fight, which I think he does.
But the big guy here is Hermanson.
Hermanson's got nothing to lose.
Right. But, I mean, he took it on real short notice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like less than 12 days? No, 14?
Let's see when he was pulled in here. 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay.
3 weeks. I mean, he's got nothing to lose, but I still got Jacare in this fight.
Yeah, I heard he was on a yacht. He was drinking tequila. And he was like, yeah, I'll take the fight.
Yeah, I'll take the fight. I'll just jump in there.
I'll just jump in.
He is coming off of his big win March 30th. That was not too long ago.
Right.
That's 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Against David Branch, took out former World Series of Fighting champion, two-time champion.
But he was only in there for 49 seconds.
Yep, that's why he's ready.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's your week of fights. That's your recap. That's everything.
That was everything?
Well, there's a lot more things out there.
Oh my God.
Things that we like to talk about.
That was 40 minutes.
If you want to talk about more, if you want to read more, go to mmamanews.com. They do this every single day. Stories every single day. We scroll through there and pick the best ones to tell you and talk about because these are the big ones that everyone's talking about. But maybe there's something you want to talk about. Right. Go to mmamanews.com. Check out the stories every day. Send us an email. Send us a comment. Put it on there. What we should bring up next.
Yeah, and if you don't know where to find it, the link will be wherever you're watching this or even whatever you're listening to this on. The link will be there.
It'll be there. As always, we come to you from the SinCal studios here in SinCal Industries, where you can get your tattoos, your piercings, your vinyl.
Modesto, California.
Modesto, California, in the 209.
In the 209.
I am pumped.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it. Can you believe they take Nate off the rankings, but they won't take McGregor off the pound-for-pound rankings, even though he's lost.
He's dropped in the pound-for-pound, right? He got dropped down
but
like
they haven't took him off.
Well, we already know who the jackasses are who are voting for this bullshit.
I know. I even see that you're still jumping in here and there telling people, we've been talking to him forever.
Shit for 2 years.
My MMA news article even got an article about
2 years, man. 2 years.
Again,
talking about this bullshit.
Nick Zanella, he put his YouTube link in this comment section.
On Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
If you're listening, you might not see the comments.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube or you're listening to us on wherever the podcast is, that link will be in there. He's already got one fighter, Peter Ishiguro, and he's got somebody else. He didn't tell me who may be coming back on a scooter at the hotel. So
also make sure you pick yourself up a shirt, shirtsicle.com/SGMMA. That's it, right?
Yeah. And that link is there. It will also be in wherever you're hearing this.
That's it this week. That is your news. That is your rumors. That is your show.
Wait, let me cue the music. That's for YouTube people.
Thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
Maybe. Yeah. That's it. Hey, Phil, quick.